This morning we're going to be working with Scarface, now known as Colt. And every time I go get them, I do something to really agitate them and test their courage. Here I got a big old water jug that I throw around and beat around and see how they react. And, you know, tail's covering, or tail's wagging, they're moving. They're not scared of that big thing at all. So I get Colt out, put the vest on him, and we start doing some back tie rag work. It's awfully cold outside, wet, nasty, and muddy. So I've been doing some work inside. Now this padded stick I'm using is actually a eskrima or a martial art training stick. It's a piece of PVC wrapped in foam, so it's very hard. So I'm not actually hitting him with it. I'm doing the old wrestling technique where you wrap it over the body and you actually hit the ground first, and the sound you hear is actually hitting the ground and not them. But here, what I do with this stick is this loud noise, and it's coming right over the top of them. It sounds really terrible and sounds really dangerous, actually. And I test to see if the swinging of the heavy object, the smacking close by them, scares them. And then I pet them with the stick. If I do hit it, I will usually hit the back tie or the ground around them. So here I also use the rag. It's, you know, a heavy rag, and I'll pop it down as hard as I can right next to them. I want to create a lot of loud noises, a lot of scary kind of things for the dog to see how committed they are on that bite. And as you see here, he's not flinching. He's not letting go. His tail's wagging. He's shaking his head. He's getting a little frustrated because usually whenever he bites something and he counters, he gets it. But here, I'm not rewarding counters. I'm rewarding his duration with the attacks and all the aggressiveness towards him. So some more, you know, smacks on the ground. This is where I'm popping the ground. I'm really wanting him to freak out, and he's not. So this is exactly what I'm looking for whenever I'm training. And then I step in, let him get the bite, and then I turn my back a little, and then turn and be more aggressive. Smack, smack. His tail's wagging. He's not letting go. And another key thing is I love these hardwood floor, fake hardwood floors or whatever they are. They're really slick and slippery. So to get a puppy on a back tie on a super slick floor this young is crucial. If you look over in the left side of the screen, there's a bench. Eventually I'm going to be doing a lot of bench work with these puppies, but this is his first time doing back tie. His very first time in a harness, his very first time tied back, and he's on a slippery floor. All this stuff going on. Once he gets used to that, then I'm going to start putting him on the bench. And on the bench, I'm going to be doing basic obedience. I'm going to do more back tie work because I want him to get accustomed to the defense table or the retrieve table or whatever you use the table for. And I'll talk about that in another video. But I'll probably start using the table to see if I can get a bark. They bark a lot unless I want them to bark, then they don't bark. So I'm going to start working on trying to get them to bark. And I'll make a video talking about why it's important to get a dog to bark. So here, a lot of back pressure. I want to get as much bite work in before they start teething as possible. And a puppy this young, you want to be careful with too much back pressure because you don't want to pop a tooth. But I've checked their teeth already. They're not in any risk. No loose teeth. They're just now starting to form up a little bit. So I got another week or two before I really have to start worrying. But with him, I could probably stop doing bite work with him for weeks and months. Pop it out and he'll pop right back into it. So I'm trying to get that built in to use it now to desensitize to things. And then whenever he starts teething, I'm going to focus on narcotics and obedience primarily. But overall, outstanding first session with a harness and a back tie. And hopefully I can get him on the table soon and barking. So here, a little spin, little fun spin. Let him win it. And then we go outside. So, awesome pup. Great personality, great work.